Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. We are here today, as we are every single weekend, answering our community's questions, wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, mindset, you name it. We're going to tackle that topic and do the best that we can in order to help people find the underlying root cause holding them back from the health and happiness they are looking for. So again, like always excited to see what our community is writing in on, and I hope that you've been listening to the show for a while. If you haven't, if you're a new listener, I appreciate you coming on board. Thank you so much. And of course, I hope that you find your answers you're looking for as well. So what I want to start with today is a question that, and I'm pulling up my trusty document right here from my team, coming in from Lisa. So again, we answer a half a dozen questions on Saturdays and a half dozen on Sundays, about a dozen questions for the weekend. And you can always search previous answers because, again, a lot of the topics are similar. But if you go to stephencabral.com/podcasts, you're going to be able to search that in that search box. We try to make that as easy as possible for you. And at the top, if you scroll across all those different images, you'll actually see categories of podcasts now that we've done, well, today's episode 1773. So we've done 1,773 shows. So that's a lot of topics for us to go through. And every weekend, it's a half a dozen topics per day. So a dozen more topics there. So big database of answers for you to be able to search, and I do hope that you're taking advantage of that. Okay, so that is what I had to give you for updates, and just a quick thank you. I just want to thank, we've gotten a lot of, not a lot of new listeners, which is fantastic, and a lot of new reviews for the Rain Barrel Effect on Amazon and the podcast on iTunes and your favorite media player. If you have not yet left a review for the Rain Barrel Effect or the Cabral Concept on your favorite iTunes or Spotify or media player, I would truly appreciate that. I really would. It allows me to stay up there in the rankings and for more and more people to find out about the show. And of course, the show is always will be completely free, just to help spread this message of hope and healing. All right. Thank you, everyone. Let's get started. So first question's from Lisa. Lisa is saying, my mother suffers with an essential tremor. It affects her hands and arms, making it difficult to eat and drink. Her mother also had this, and her head would shake later in life. I'm concerned that this may be something that I also acquire as a hereditary trait. I have also noticed my hands shake when taking a glass of water or lifting a fork, but so far it's just been on a few isolated occasions and not a regular basis. I therefore wanted to ask if there's anything I could do to reduce my chances of developing a tremor like my mother and grandmother. I exercise frequently and try to eat a balanced diet. I'm healthy, slim weight, and no medications. Any tips, advice would be appreciated. Lisa. All right, Lisa, let's give you an answer here. Again, I always give you the standard disclaimer. Anything I say in this show is for health, educational purposes only. It is not meant to be a treatment protocol, medical advice, a diagnosis, or anything concerning medical advice in any way. We are working on helping people understand the underlying root causes that are keeping them unwell or unable to lose the weight or aging at a faster rate than they would like. And so when we look at an essential tumor, for people that don't know, tremor, I apologize if I said tumor. I probably have a little tumor on the mind here with all these different questions. But essential tremor is a neurological disorder, okay? So it's an imbalance in the nervous system. In Ayurveda, they call it a Vata-based disorder. In functional medicine, we just call it a neurological disorder. Well, we have to say, what is causing that tremor? It could be an electrolyte imbalance. It could be a blood sugar imbalance. It could be an inflammatory disorder. It could be an HPA axis dysregulation in terms of hormones produced. There is no way to know without testing. There honestly isn't. I recommend the big 5 labs, okay? The big 5 labs are going to look at your omega-3 levels, your vitamin levels, your mineral levels, and something that I didn't even mention, which is heavy metals, okay? Let's say that even genetically, you have a poor detox capacity towards heavy metals. Well, if you know that you have heavy metals building up in your body, you can simply do a heavy metal detox once a year. I do one just once a year anyway. You could do it twice a year if you needed to, spring and fall. But you would be able to see if these heavy metals are building up in your body, which can also cause neurological-based issues. So, Lisa, the best way is always to test. I mean, it really is, because if not, we're looking at a needle in a haystack. We can narrow that down with at-home functional medicine testing. The Big 5 Labs is available at equi.life. That's equi.life. It will show you, again, all the things that I spoke about. And of course, just remember, you can always run these with your local integrative health practitioner if you'd rather do that than work with our team at Equilife. All right. Thank you, Lisa. It's a great question. And, I wish you all the best, and I know that you'll get there. You've got time. All right, Gabe is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. I had a question about to do with FODMAPs. I know mushrooms are not allowed when following a FODMAP diet, but what about adaptogen powders? Typically, I put lion's mane in my smoothie or coffee. I use reishi sometimes as well. Would these be okay to use on a low FODMAP diet, or should I stay away from them as well? Yeah, it's a great question. And when we look at them, I do agree that you could consider them a bit of an adaptogen. I think reishi would probably fall into that category the best. I mean, if you're looking at like one mushroom to use, reishi mushrooms are pretty amazing. When I've talked about that before, I've talked about like the 4 or 5 mushrooms that are my favorites. We don't do a lot with mushrooms, honestly, in our practice. We can recommend some, and once people are well and they want to use them for their immune system and all that, I think they can be great. I really do. But we do a lot with digestive issues, and that's why we don't offer a lot of mushroom-based products. So I would say no, meaning like an adaptogen, if it's a mushroom, is still a mushroom, right? It's still a mushroom, even though you might want to call it an adaptogen. Just like if you have an issue with nightshades, well, you might say, well, berries are okay, but goji berries aren't, right? Or if you have an issue with, nightshades, you wouldn't use something like ashwagandha, right? If it was a real issue. Okay, so here's the issue. I say you could use those in the future, but not for the 8 to 12 weeks that we have you eliminate those on the FODMAP plan, right? The fructo-oligo di-mono and polysaccharides. And just keep in mind, again, are you using our CBO protocol? It doesn't say that you're using our CBO protocol. So our CBO protocol comes with a sensitive gut guide, but it's not just FODMAPs. I always want people to know that. Like we really base it on so many different factors that it's pretty amazing. It's based on all my research on anti-inflammatory foods, lectins, anything that will bother your gut, and then we gradually reintroduce them, and we see what your gut can handle after we begin to rebuild it. So yes, for the time being, I would say to take them out. And then after being on the plan and healing your gut in 8 to 10 weeks, you could slowly introduce the fungi or the mushrooms. All right, Karen's up next. First off, a quick heartfelt thanks to you and your team for all the work you do to educate and improve the health of those around you. It's a huge undertaking to commit to these daily podcasts, but your community really benefits from them. Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. My question is about stabilized rice bran. I've heard there are great benefits to supplementing with it. However, I have concerns since I've heard it is the outer shell of the rice, also called the bran, which accumulates the most arsenic, which is why white rice tends to have less arsenic since the bran has been stripped away. Am I misunderstanding this concept? Do you have any insight into the health benefits of stabilized rice bran versus the risks? Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a great question, Karen. Great question. So let's break this down for people. Rice bran is the outer part of the bran of the rice, and there are tremendous benefits. That's why a lot of people like to throw out grains because, they say it causes me digestive issues, it causes me inflammation. It very well may. I don't discount that at all. It very well may. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of times people need to rebalance their gut, and then it doesn't, right? So, oftentimes it's more of a gut issue than it is a rice issue or a grain-based issue. But let's look at the grains if they might be okay for you, or in this case, the rice bran if it might be okay for you. And the stabilized rice bran has been actually well researched. I mean, this is conventional medicine research as well, like scientific data. And we know that it's helped people specifically with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, blood sugar-based issues, certain types of cancer, boosting the immune system and strength. And so we know there's a lot of benefit to that for sure. The question is, does the potential risk of arsenic buildup outweigh it? Well, what I would say is this. Do you have any one of the conditions I just named, metabolic-based syndrome, right? The blood pressure, the cholesterol, the type 2 diabetes, and those types of things. Like, do you have an issue with that? Because if you do, well, you might want to include stabilized rice bran, right? Again, not a treatment protocol, but you might want to look into that. And then what you can do is, let's say you are using it. Now, the thing is this, you can test your arsenic levels, okay? You really can. You can test it with the minerals and metals test, and I believe it's on our heavy metal toxicity test, which would be an even better way to test it. So that's what I would do. I would use it for 12 to 16 weeks, 3 to 4 months, run the lab, see if you're building up arsenic, and then you would stop, and then you would do a detox. There's no doubt about it. So, okay, let me go back, though, just one more point. You could do that. First, you'd want to test probably the lab ahead of time to make sure you don't have arsenic levels. That's for sure. But you can also contact the companies to see if the product has been tested for arsenic. And if so, well, then you don't have as much to worry about. So that's a great thing to do as well. All right. So Karen, hopefully that was helpful. Gabe's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. I hope you are doing well these winter days, really starting with the winter starting to set in. It's started to snow in my neck of the woods today. So yes, it's already started to set in. My question pertains to the CBO protocol. I ran my organic acids test, also called the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and was recommended to complete the CBO protocol based on my results. However, I'm very underweight and was wondering if I can still gain back good weight on the CBO protocol. I know in the first few weeks, the list of foods that are allowed to be eaten is slightly restrictive. Do you think it would be more beneficial to work on my weight first and then do the CBO protocol, or can I kill two birds with one stone in this case? I value your opinion and appreciate your help. Also, by the time you're seeing this, it'll probably be close to Christmas, so Merry Christmas as well. And again, thank you. Gabe, thank you. I appreciate you. Your question came in on November 6th. I guess we're about 5-6 weeks in the future right now from when you wrote this. I do hope, though, that you're always getting started ahead of time. Remember, you can ask my health coaching team this as well. Keep in mind that the CBO protocol, yes, it helps people lose weight if they have a lot of inflammation or their bodies aren't balanced, but you don't have to lose weight on it. And that's because although you are eliminating certain foods for those first 21 days, you can add in good starches such as sweet potatoes and yams and yucca and more of these starchy foods. And you can add in your avocados, and you can add in your, we even have coconut oil on there if you need to use that. We've got good fats like olive oil. So it's not necessarily a weight loss plan. And so, Gabe, you can keep your weight up and you can keep your carbs up as well, should you want to, with those sweet potatoes, Japanese yams, and all those nice starches. So hopefully that is helpful. All right, Lara is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Your podcasts are an amazing start of the day for me. You're such a bright star in a very dark night. Well, thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. And I know that there are a lot of people struggling right now in the pandemic, and I think we all are. I mean, honestly, like, my life is not normal. I don't get to travel. I don't get to meet with the people that I love meeting in our community. My daughters are at home from school, studying from home. They want to be at school with their friends. So it is a dark spot. It is, but we have to stay strong. We really do. We have to stay strong in our mind and our bodies. We need to keep boosting our immune system and keeping our mind strong, because I know that we'll get through this. I know it's not going to last forever, and this is not our new normal. We're going to be able to get through this. There's no doubt about it. But I appreciate you writing in and saying that. It means a lot to me. So your question says, today my question is about cold brewing tea. I thought it was okay because I read about it, but now a nutritionist told me I'm basically just making flavored water, and that the essential oils in the herbs that are healing cannot get out of the herbs soaking in cold water. Do you have knowledge about this? I'm sure Ayurvedic knowledge, which can be cold brewed and which cannot, and how to prepare the tea. I also heard not everything can be put in boiled water. Thanks so much. And I wish everyone happy healing. Laura, thank you for the note. There's some truth to that, but no, not overall. So believe it or not, you can actually extract a lot of nutrients just in the water itself. It just has to be there for 24 to 30 hours. So it's a longer period of time. So think about this. You can steep your tea and you can drink it within 10 minutes. Easy. You extract the nutrients faster under heat. There's no doubt about it. So if your nutritionist was saying that, totally get it. If you just put it in cold water, yeah, it is kind of just colored water. But if you allow it to sit there for, again, a minimum of 18 hours, but more like 24 to 38 hours, you're going to be able to get that nutrition out of it. Now, there's an in-between, and it's called ambient brewing. And that means brewing at room temperature. So now you're brewing at, let's just say, 70 degrees. I don't know where you are in the world, but somewhere around there, right? So now you can brew it a little bit faster, okay? And you can brew it at room temperature. Now, purists will say cold brew or hot. That's it. It all depends on where you fall on that spectrum. Of course, cold brew really does preserve a lot of that chlorogenic acids that come from coffee beans that you can also get from some teas. And so that's really important to look at as well. So I love cold brewing. I think it's a great way to do it. And then if you do heat your tea, just don't heat it really above 186 degrees. How do you do that? Well, there are many tea kettles out there, like the Fellow tea kettle that I've recommended. You can go to StephenCabral.com/resources and check out that tea kettle I recommend. And you can actually set it for that temperature. That's what my wife does. She drinks matcha tea. So you don't want to scorch the matcha. So she heats it at 186. And then that makes sure that she's not scorching the good ceremonial organic blend matcha. And I think that's your answer. So hopefully that was helpful, Laura. Thank you for writing in. Good question. Okay, Lorena is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer these questions. What would your suggestion be if someone goes through the CBO protocol and the CBO finisher, but then 3 months later gets food poisoning from a bad piece of sashimi? Would you say doing the parasite protocol directly if testing is not an option financially? Lorena, great question. If you go back to my podcast, and I would love everyone to listen to this, it's called the 4 cleanses to do every year. I think it's called that. One is the parasite, but I go in depth on when to do them and how to do them, the order to do them in. So we've got the parasite, we've got the intestinal cleanse, we've got the functional medicine detox, which you should do quarterly, and you've got the heavy metal. Those are ones to do every year. So for me, I would say, is this for an adult? Yes, for an adult. Okay. So yes, I would just do the parasite protocol. I mean, that's really what I would do. And you just don't know, right? Did you get a parasite? Did you get food poisoning? You could do a couple things. You could do the parasite protocol. Always do the intestinal cleanse halfway through the parasite protocol, or at least at the very end during the last week. And then if you wanted to, you could add the mastic gum or the healthy belly to the parasite protocol, just in case you picked up any of that extra bacteria as well. So Lorena, you are welcome to do that if you don't want to do the bacteria and parasite stool testing. Good question. One more question for the day, and this is from Mo. Mo is asking, hi, Dr. Cabral, it's Mo here. I'm reaching out in regards to my daughter again. Today is November 8th, and about 2 days ago, she developed this red spot that sort of looks like eczema in both of her armpits. Her left side is a lot more prominent than the right. She's only with me a couple days of the week, and while with me, she does not touch or any dairy, gluten, or processed foods. However, unfortunately, while with her mom, she gets cheese, milk, yogurt, crackers. I have always had a lot of skin issues prior to doing your protocols, and I'm so worried since she has my genes and she could develop the same issues. What would you recommend we do? While with me, I give her your omega-3, DNS, kids vitamin D3. Should I get her tested for food sensitivities? Thanks as always. My whole family loves you and all that you do for everyone in your community. Thanks, Mo. Mo, I really appreciate that. Honestly, all of these kind words, it makes me really appreciative, really, really grateful. I just want everyone to know that. Sometimes I have difficulty expressing that, but it means the world to me. It really does. So here's the thing. It is most likely the dairy that she's getting. Okay. I'm not a betting man. I mean, I've been to Las Vegas many, many times. I don't bet. I'm just not that type of betting person. I like to keep my money safe. Unless it's for entertainment purposes, sure, I'll sit down with some friends and I'll basically waste some money just on entertainment. But here's the thing. it is most likely a food sensitivity. So here's what you want to do. Any spouse, partner, wife, or husband, or partner, whatever it might be, they just don't know yet. That's okay. I mean, nobody wants to do harm to their children for the most part. They really don't. I know there's some terrible people in the world, but we don't need to focus on that small fraction. Most people want to do right by their kids. They're just doing the best that they can. They're saying, how could the dairy possibly affect her? I eat dairy. She's not getting bloating. She's not getting gas. Well, here's the thing. It can come out as a latent base sensitivity. Test your daughter on a Sunday. Let her have some gluten and dairy with you on Friday and Saturday. Run the test on Sunday. Mail it in. You'll get the results. You will see if she has a dairy sensitivity or egg, right? Or gluten or any one of the 197 that we test for. So just anyone, go to equi.life, EQUI.LIFE, run an IgG food sensitivity test with your family. It's so vitally important. I run one every year with my daughters. Do they like doing the finger prick? No, they don't. But they actually enjoy the process of being able to see the foods that they're sensitive to because they get it. They understand. So it's about educating our children as well. There's no bad foods. There's no good foods. It's not good, bad. It's not reward. It's like, hey, these foods serve us. These ones energize us, give us health, and these ones don't. That's what we're talking about, okay? It's about health education. So Mo, that's what I would do. Could it be a yeast overgrowth? Well, you'd have to run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test for that. That would be your second one to run. You're an amazing dad. There's just no doubt about it. And those are the two labs I recommend. I wish you all the best. I really do. All of you are an amazing, amazing community to work with. And I feel very fortunate, as I said, to be able to answer your questions to the best of my ability on a weekly basis. All right, take care. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. All the best to you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. It was a pleasure talking with you over these past few minutes. And before you go, I want to share with you over at Equal Life right now, we are giving away entire boxes of our whole food bars. That means you can get any one of your favorite flavors. They are all in stock right now. We have our chocolate brownie indulgent, my youngest daughter's favorite flavor. The Sunny Day Delight, my favorite flavor. We have the cinnamon apple crisp, which is my oldest daughter's favorite flavor, and the lemon ginger goodness, which is my wife's favorite flavor. Believe it or not, we each have our own favorite flavor, and they do have a distinct taste to them, even though they are all made from the highest quality organic ingredients that you can find. These bars are also one level higher in terms of manufacturing, meaning we test them specifically for pesticides, which a lot of companies right now are doing. These are heavy metal tested, they're pesticide tested, they are free of the 9 major allergens, making them also safe for most schools. So when you look at them, you're getting a vegan product, a plant-based product, you're getting an allergen-free product, no dairy, no gluten, no eggs, no fish, any of the major common allergens, plus they are organic. They are also delicious as well, which is why they are approved for the whole family. Right now, while supplies last, you can get your favorite flavor, the entire box, completely free on all orders over $129. So purchase your favorite protocol, your favorite nutritional supplements, the lab that you've been meaning to do. Any one of those items will qualify for a free box of our whole food bars. You can check them out over at equi.life. That's just EQUI.LIFE. Equi.life. You'll see the banner right there when you land on the website while supplies last. Get your free box of our whole food bars.